ESPN has been struggling tremendously in the eyes of the sports world, and maybe someday we will see this entire company fall off the face of the earth. As of right now, ESPN still pretty much has full control over college football, and with the SEC on CBS dying in just a couple seasons, they're going to have a monopoly pretty soon. Some people hate it, some people love it. The one thing that pretty much everyone will love is that Robert Griffin III will now have a new role in the college football world. We all know him as the Heisman winner from Baylor, who had a tough injury situation in Washington, but now he will be a color commentator for ESPN College Football, and this is very exciting. In today's video, I want to talk about his new role, do a quick brief look back at his career, talk about why this is good for both him and the sport. I'm joined by Cole Adams today, so be sure to check out his channel if you don't already know him. He makes some of the best sports videos on YouTube, and he's definitely going to appreciate it. And also don't forget to subscribe to this channel, as 80% of you guys are not subscribed, and we need all of you for this season. Now let's go ahead and get started and talk about Robert Griffin III. So according to ESPN, Griffin basically signed a contract with them today where he will call a couple games this year. He said, quote, "ESPN has been great through this entire process and understanding that I still want to play. I still love the game, and if that opportunity doesn't come, I'll give everything I have to ESPN and this process." Basically, for some further background information, if he ends up getting a contract to play in the NFL, he will have a way out of this TV stuff, so ESPN isn't holding him hostage and telling him to end football. He gets an opportunity to do both things, and if one thing works out, then he's going to take full advantage of it. This is not the first time he has been on TV, as he went on NFL Live in 2017 when he did not play. He brings a fresh new insight, is a huge name from the past, and will help bring more eyes to the games he is calling. ESPN's senior vice president said, quote, "His knowledge of the game, his fresh off-the-field insights, and his charisma make him uniquely positioned to move into this new role, and we are particularly excited to have him call a big college game every week." Finally, Griffin had this to say about it. Quote, "I think it's a fun thing for me to be able to do a little bit of studio and call games. It's a perfect situation. I'm continuing to work out, stay ready, and prepare for everything that will be coming in the future." So now that we know what he's going to be doing for ESPN this year, I just want to do a quick run back of who Robert Griffin is. He was actually born in Japan. I don't know if many of you guys knew that, but eventually the family would move to Texas, where he would attend Copperas Cove High School. In his last 2 years as a starter there, he'd rushed for a total of 2,161 yards and 32 touchdowns, while also passing for nearly 3,500 yards and 41 touchdowns. And he would get them to 2 state championship games, but he would lose both. He was also a track star in the state, which is why it was surprising he didn't have bigger offers. He was considered a 4-star recruit by 24/7 Sports, as he was ranked as the number 6 dual-threat quarterback and the 293rd best player in the class of 2008. Art Briles saw the potential that he had, and Baylor football had struggled over its existence. He would start 11 of his 12 games as a true freshman, and ended up becoming the Big 12 Freshman of the Year in 2008. Despite Baylor finishing with a 4-8 record, the future was bright with him. In the third game of the 2009 season, he'd be hit with a major setback as he would tear his ACL and would have to miss the entire year. Once again, Baylor struggled and went 4-8. In 2010, he'd go in as a redshirt sophomore, and he would have a tremendous year. He passed for 3,501 yards and 22 touchdowns, with nearly 700 yards on the ground and 8 more scores there. He helped lead Baylor to a 7-6 record, but no one expected the kind of year he'd have in 2011. Baylor was not projected to do that well, but things would change immediately as he helped them upset number 15 TCU in their first game, and he would have a spectacular year. He finished the season with 4,293 yards and 37 touchdowns, with 699 more yards on the ground and 10 scores there. The highlight of his career came when he made a game-winning touchdown pass against Oklahoma, and the hype for him was pretty much unreal. He took home the 2011 Heisman Trophy and a plethora of other awards and recognitions. He decided to leave school early, where he would compete with Andrew Luck for that number 1 overall pick spot. The Colts took Luck, the Redskins got Griffin. He had a spectacular rookie year, but unfortunately, as we all know, he went down in the playoffs, and from there, things were never the same for him. He didn't see eye to eye with his coaches, and he sort of just flamed out. He spent some time with both the Browns and the Ravens, but for the most part, he did not live up to the hype he had coming out of college, but we all know it is due to injury. But Griffin is a huge supporter of Baylor athletics, is a really good dude, and has made the most of the situation. And now, I want to turn it over to Cole Adams to talk about his opinion on all this, and sort of an insight as to what he thinks Griffin will be doing on a game-to-game basis.
Well, as always, thank you, Scott, for bringing me onto the channel. Scott, Jackson from J&D Productions, and myself saw RG3 at the Baylor Gonzaga National Championship game, which was really cool. He seems like a great guy. It was awesome talking to him, and it's going to be awesome listening to him call college football games. RG3 joining ESPN is a really cool idea. ESPN is in dire need of help. ESPN's caused a lot of issues with college football, so getting RG3 kind of puts a band-aid on all of the mess they've kind of created. Now, Fox Sports actually also approached RG3, but he obviously signs with ESPN. He is such a big name in college athletics. Obviously, he is a Heisman winner. He went to Baylor University, had a breakout year, led him to the NFL draft, got selected second overall, and RG3 was so much fun to watch. He really is an all-time college football player. Now, Robert Griffin will do color commentary during college football games, right next to the play-by-play guy, and he will have an out in his contract, so just in case another team wants to bring him in again, he can go right in, play NFL football. Honestly, I wouldn't mind that happening. RG3 is a great guy. He would deserve another chance. He had injuries last year. He came in actually for one game where Lamar Jackson sat out for the Ravens. He played in that game, but he got injured, so he went right out, and obviously he wasn't able to get on another NFL roster this season. So ESPN picks him up. Now, Jason Witten, if you remember, he did Monday Night Football. He returned to the NFL to play again. So this is something that we have seen happen at least before. It's not a very common thing to see, but at least can happen. Now, for RG3 at ESPN, he will give that QB perspective that is always the best. When I'm listening to a game, I want to hear a quarterback's perspective. It's a very sports-specific thing. Like for an NBA color commentary, I don't care if they were a center, a point guard, or NHL. They could be a goalie, they could be a center, doesn't matter, a defenseman, and even for baseball, they could be a pitcher, a catcher, whatever. But for football, I always want to hear the quarterback's perspective the most. It's just a sports-specific thing, and ESPN is really in dire need of somebody like an RG3 to come fill in the gap left by many of their top color commentators that have left. Now, for his career, I do feel bad for the injuries that happened in Washington. If you remember, he was a top 2 pick, like Scott has mentioned, and he was really going to be a superstar, or at least a really good quarterback. He had one of the best rookie seasons ever. He beat out Andrew Luck and Russell Wilson for Offensive Rookie of the Year, who both had really good years for Indianapolis and Seattle. But the thing was, after his rookie year, he only started in 7 more career games his team won. So things fell off for him pretty fast. However, it will be really nice to hear him call games for ESPN. I'm very excited for the football season as well. It's going to be so much fun. We need more quarterbacks doing the color commentary for games. That quarterback perspective is always the best, and RG3 will bring a unique perspective to the game that I don't think that everybody can bring. You gotta remember, RG3 was a very mobile quarterback. He was a track star in high school, and it seems like a lot of the quarterbacks now are kind of pocket passers, where RG3 could be with his legs and his arm, and we've seen a transition in football where it's really being dominated by dual threat quarterbacks. So I think that RG3's perspective during a game will really be cool to listen to him talk about these dual threat quarterbacks that are so much fun to watch. So that's my thoughts on everything. Again, thank you, Scott Fisher, for bringing me on. Make sure you hit that subscribe button to Scott's channel. He has the best college football content out there. So that's going to do it for me. Thanks, guys.
So yeah, thank you, Cole, for coming on today's video. Be sure to check his channel if you've somehow not heard of it by now. Some of the best sports content you're going to find. Before you go, let me know your thoughts on today's video. If you think RG3 will ever play again, what topic I should do next, and anything else you want me to read. Before you go, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe, as it really helps. Turn on post notifications and check out all my other videos on the end screen. And I hope to see you guys again soon. But until next time, peace.